Hey everyone. Um, I gonna make this video as short as possible, but for those who know, I did make a travel to California to go watch this team play game 3. At the end, you'll see a clip of me and everything that I went through and how how my experience was. I will say, like, game 3 was exciting and very much amazing to be there. I've been a Laker fan for a long time. I'm a, first generation from Mexican family who literally, my family came here with nothing, and I was raised basically in the sense of not knowing what customs the US had. So like NBA, NFL, all those things. Growing up, I had no one watched that. I would watch soccer, and that was basically the only sport that I knew at the time. So once I was in high school, I started becoming more active, going to um, Friday night games, basketball, football. That's how I started learning and like actually loving. I loved it. Like I loved being in the stands. I loved being in the crowd. It was loud. We were like always loud. My high school team wasn't the best, but like we were always had the energy, and I was always there with it too. So my first time watching an NBA game was back when Facebook started. And I remember like people were like hating on this guy. I'm like, they were just talking about this person. Oh, he's not good. Da, 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 like just bashing him and hated. I can't stand that mother effer. Blah blah blah. Whatever. And I'm like, who are they talking about? So I turned on the tape, like the TV, and like I said, I only really had basics cable. So like I didn't have like TNT all the time, and I didn't know any of these things that were going on. So I think it was like ABC. So it was the finals championship. Not Warriors, sorry. It was Celtics versus the Lakers, and I watched my first game with watching these two, and I'm like, who's this guy? Like, I didn't know any NBA players. I didn't know anything about basketball, like pro basketball. Like I watched high school and I knew what technicals and all that kind of stuff what was going on. But I'm like, who is this guy? Like, who is he? Like, this guy is so good. He's so aggressive. He's so finesse. Like, he makes these killer shots, and he's like super like passionate. You could say the passion when he would play the game. I'm like, who is this guy? Like, he never quits. It doesn't matter how much they're down. He's gonna do whatever it takes to win, and I love that. And I find out, if you don't know who it was Kobe Bryant, obviously the person that made me fall in love with basketball. And obviously with him passing, it was really like hard for some people. But whatever the case be, I was like, I watched him play and I was like, growing up, I was like, I would love to see him play at home. Obviously, being, first generation, I didn't have money. So it's like something like I would always dream, like, how can I make this dream happen, And I never thought it would happen, but like I said, so I would always watch them when they were local because I live on the East Coast in Florida. I'd always watch them when they play, Orlando because it's a little bit cheaper and, no shame to the Orlando fans, but it's easier for to get the win. But either way, so I would watch them when they would come here. And one of my dreams, like I said, was watching them at home. But being on the East Coast is a lot hard to get to the West Coast. It's difficult, expensive. It's long train. It's not like super short flight. It's long. So right before Kobe Bryant retired, there was one game that was like, I need to make it. I missed the ones that were in Florida. I don't even remember what happened. But when he announced that he was retiring officially, I was like, I need to go to this game because he's going to retire. I'm never going to see him again. So I would love to see him one more time. So I drove like 14 hours by car and I watched him play in New Orleans. And, you know, I did that because I wanted to see him. We fucking got destroyed that game. But to me, it meant something to me to be in the stadium one last time, watching him play one last time. And at the end of his career, he, obviously wasn't who he was when like 5-10 years before that when I'd been watching him. So you could see, like, I could still see glimpses of who, the young Kobe. So seeing him get to that point, I was like, yeah, I can see why he's ready to retire. Like you could see the pain in his body, and like you could tell like he was just tired. And I'm like, he like it was like that moment. I'm like, he's ready to retire. So when we made it to playoffs, I was like, January, I went to go watch him in Orlando. I was like surprised, you know, we won. We have had like really, really like bad losses, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go to Orlando. Let's hope they don't lose. So luckily, I went to Orlando and they won. So I really was like, when we found out we were playoffs, I was gonna actually go to Game 5. I was like debating on it. I was looking at flights. I was like, I want to go watch them. If they win Game 5 away, I want to be there to support them. And thank God I didn't because we knew how that happened. We got blown out. So I was like, okay, well, what's the next thing I can do? So I've been like, I was watching after the series that we won with with the Grizzlies. Like, when do we find out the next sign up of who we play next? So I was hoping it would end sooner because the days that I fall off on my days off would have been perfect because I would have been off the day of the home game if it like was moved a few days early, whatever. But either way, when I found out we were going against the Warriors, I was like, okay, well, that makes it a little bit tougher because at least it was the Kings. It would be Texas. It's not that far. But like in my mind, I'm like, if I'm going to spend this money to watch a playoff game, I think the best way to do it is just watch it at home. I've never been at a home game, and it's always been a dream for me. Like I said, watching Kobe Bryant play and being a Laker fan since then, I was like, I want to watch him play at home. So I looked into trying to figure out how to get there the fastest way possible without having so many days to take off. So I've looked into it. The first home game ends up on a Saturday. I work 7 on, 7 off. So Friday I worked and then I had to take a flight to Miami, which is a 5 hour flight directly to LA. And I know it's crazy, but for me, it's a dream come true because I wanted to watch them. And I'm like, what a better chance to watch them at home after fucking getting our teeth knocked in game two, knowing that we're gonna have to come back game three to answer, and we're gonna fucking answer. I'm hoping to God we're answering because if we don't answer game three, if we didn't win game three, we weren't gonna win the series. We're gonna lose it. Period. And that's a definite. So I knew like this is the only opportunity that I have to watch them play. So I was like, how much is it gonna do? Whatever it's gonna take. I had to work Saturday. I had to take Saturday off because I was supposed to work. So I was like, what can I do? So I found a flight where I can leave that morning and leave that night. So I ended up taking a flight in the morning, arriving, because of the 3 hour time change. I still arrived in the morning in California. So, like I said, the time change makes it difficult, but I ended up doing it. Spent the whole day in California, and I know it's crazy, but I flew back that night because I had to work Sunday. So I'm like, I'm not going to take all these days off. So I ended up coming back that night, and like I said, I still am so grateful, and it's the best experience, and it's always going to be in the top 10 of my memories because, like I said, growing up, I didn't have money, so like this was always a dream for me, and it was kind of like surreal. Like I took it in, and it's like I think yesterday I had a moment like, wow, like you can do anything in life. If you have a dream, just like set yourself to that dream. Like you have like these little moments like, oh, what I would do to have this, and what would I do to have like these experiences, like, and work hard. I worked hard. Like I went through schooling, and I busted my ass. Like I never took time off. So now that I can do it, I'm gonna do it. So whatever, people are gonna say something about it, go for it. I mean, I'm living my best life in the sense that, if I die tomorrow, I'm not gonna regret anything that I did or didn't do. So seeing them win at home was nice, and it's like amazing. I will say the crowd though, I don't know if it's an LA thing, and I don't mean to diss LA people, but the vibe sometimes, like when I would be screaming, like I said, I'm used to like, people having this atmosphere, like win or lose, my mentality, I'm gonna be there 100% cheering you on because I feel like people feed off of that. So when we were down a period of time, I think we were down like 10 or something like that. Like the audience was like silent. Like not a single people were cheering. No one was cheering offense. No one was cheering defense. And I'm like, how do you expect them to get the game going again if you guys aren't present? Like to me, like if people are hyping me up, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, I'm gonna come out here and show up. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's an LA thing. Like, people have like, oh, I'm proper, and this is the finals game. I'm not gonna act crazy and like ratchet because people were looking at me crazy. I was like, I'm gonna scream my top of my lungs, and you can look at me like I'm crazy, but I was not about to spend all this money just to watch them lose. So they're gonna fucking hear me. I don't care if I'm the only one in the fucking stand screaming because I'm gonna make sure that they knew I was there for them, and I want them to know that I want them to win, whatever it takes. So whatever, thankful that we did win. But like I said, game four is going to be a big deal. Whether, we pull this out, it'd be very surprising. I think it's going to be neck and neck. It's going to come down to the last quarter. I think all those 3 quarters are going to make a difference. I think I'm hoping for real. My biggest issue with the whole series is that they've been taking out the starters like early, like second game when we were down like 20, 30 points, like they took all our starters, and I'm like, are we not just going to try? We're just gonna call it quits. Like there's people in the stands that pay money to watch you guys. Some people paid and traveled, and taking out starters to me was insane. Like they did it again on game 3. And I'm like, there was like all the Warriors, starters were taken off at like 8 minutes left of the quarter. And I'm like, is this like defeat already? Like we don't have a whole quarter to play. It didn't make sense to me, and I felt bad because like I can't imagine if I was a Warriors fan who traveled or whatever, paid this money to watch you guys take out the starters and quit. Like, that's insane to me. Yeah, you have 7 games potentially, but there's people out there that want to see you play. Like, either way, I didn't understand that. I think this is a series I've seen. Well, have they done that? Which is strange to me. But either way, I'm hoping that that doesn't happen game 4. I think they need to run it to the wire. I don't care if you're down by 20. I don't care if you're down by 30 in the fourth quarter. You will fucking keep all those people in and start those people. I'm very proud of D'Lo. He's doing a great job, and AD needs to take his. He's taking time to try to warm up. But I think we need to. At this point, we can't be warming up. You need to know what you're doing. You need to get into your hot streak because the Warriors don't play. I don't think they need much time to warm up. They're like hitting him as soon as they're on the court, and I think we need to have that energy. I don't understand why are we not driving the ball? We're bigger people. We need to use our body against this team. They're very small in comparison. So I really don't understand why we're not doing more of, driving up the ball, doing layups, doing simple shit that we do good at. We're not doing anymore. Like, we're just flopping around trying to get a goddamn foul, and I'm like, just drive the ball, go through the hoop, go to the hoop, just get the fucking foul if they do it in shooting. Like, I don't know. It's very frustrating. I don't know if this is gonna be a repeat, but like I said, I'm hoping not. But in a sense, I really hope it to be a good game because I know there's people out there who are traveling, and I feel you. I hope for a really good game because, like I said, I came in with low standards. Like, if we lost, I wanted it to be a close loss. I didn't want it to be blown out. So either way, I think this game will come down to the wire. I do think that, we need consistency. AD and James need to be both fire. I would be surprised if that's a game. I think if we don't go 3-1 and we go home to them, we're going to lose game. Is it game 5? We're going to go to the Warriors Stadium. We're going to lose game 5. That's automatically a given no matter what because they're home games. I feel like we were lucky to take away game 1. So we need to keep that pace and continue to be like it's our last game because I don't want to pretend like this is a team to fuck around and find out because we don't want to. So at the end, you'll see the clip and everything that I went through. And like I said, I'm very happy. It looks like a dream come true because, like I said, coming from where I was a few years ago to where I'm at, it just time can change, and I'm very blessed and grateful for everything and what I've done. I worked hard for everything. So like I tell people, just keep your head down, grind, have Mamba mentality. If you want something, go for it. Do whatever you want, make you happy. Life is short. And that's it. Have a good one, guys.
Come with me while I fulfill one of my dreams of watching Lakers play at home in playoffs. So we flew first class, and this is stuff that we got. We got pillows, everything included, breakfast, and we had a 5-hour flight from Miami, so that was well worth it. Here we are at the Crypto Arena. They changed it, and I'm kind of sad that it's no longer the Staples Center, so here we are. I've always wanted to be here, and it's like I've been a long-time Lakers fan. I never could afford it, and now I'm able to enjoy one of my dreams. Here I am taking pictures everywhere. It was such a great feeling being somewhere when I wanted to. When growing up watching the Lakers play, on the East Coast it's definitely difficult to come out west. So I wanted to make my first time go all out and watch them in a home in the playoffs. Look at me, so cute. I was part of the Jumbo Stream initially, and then they came back again, and I told my hubby that, like, hey, I was on it, you missed it, and they come back around and look at me go. I would loud. The man was probably scared to death of me. He's like, you know what, this bitch is a little crazy. But as you can see, we were part of the little Jumbotron. I could not get my camera skills up and do this at the same time, so I'm greatly disappointed. But look at us, having a great time. This is all before the game. We arrived pretty early, even despite that there were so many people. Again, this is a playoff game, so I'm not sure how the home games are, but I'm pretty sure it's the same. I will say I was quite disappointed in the ability of the crowd to get loud, and when we were down, it seemed like everybody kind of lost energy, and I feel like if you're a team and you're struggling, you really kind of depend on your fans to kind of bring you back up and hype you guys to get that energy. Oh, big stand of Reeves. He's my cute little pie. I love him. Anyways, I hope they re-sign him. So, yeah, I mean, everything was kind of surprising for me for the first time. Like I said, this is the first home game that I've been there. I've been to other home games for different teams. I feel like the energy's kind of different, I guess. It just, I don't know if it's an LA thing, and, some of these people come here often enough, and I don't know if maybe that's why some people lack of the energy, but these tickets were not cheap at all. I'm not sure why anybody was keeping their energy, because I was not about to have them lose and not give everything from me. But yeah, I really believe, look at this cold little before the tip-off, but I really believe that the team and the players all feed off of people's energy, so I was trying to keep it up no matter what. Even when we were down or up, I'm going to keep that energy 110%. So, yeah, this was so amazing, especially game 3. After being, destroyed game 2, I was so excited to see them. I knew that they were going to come in with a flash and full of energy, and like I said, I was, lowering my standards just in case. I was disappointed, but of course, I was not. Was like so exciting. It was my first home game, and not only just a home game, a playoff game in which they won. So I'm so happy. I'm excited. And watching LeBron still do his thing at his age is so nice and like surprising. Here's a few seconds before the game ends. And here we are before and a few seconds go, and look at this. So happy and excited. Look at all this has come down.